Hi, Sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across a video where we're talking about that they are being bullied by people that look like me, and I am like, how? Because the last ones that I've been seeing, you all are the ones trying to put your hands on people that look like me for no reason and think you will get away with it, and they are giving it to you back to back. So now I saw a video where a man was talking about how people that look like me were the ones that started work. Because I remember some years ago when these people, I don't know, I am not sure they knew the meaning of work, but to them, work is a very bad thing and should never happen. Work is something that, if you hear work, I mean, it's a very horrible bad person. So I remember about a white woman who talked about work on live television while granting interview, and so they decided to ask her the meaning of work because what she was talking about work wasn't right. So they asked her the meaning of work. So she told them that work is something that she cannot explain at this point in time because it's very broad. So they asked her to brief us or just give us two words that can define work, or just quite little words that would define work. That was the end of it. Just at this point that we found out that white people actually do not know the meaning of work, but they use it as a slur over people that look like me. You know what? Let's get into this video.
Let's talk about the word woke, because too many people these days are confused and too many others are pretending to be. As a brown man living in America, as someone who grew up in India and now watches this country twist words like they twist truth, let me take you through this one properly. The term woke, it didn't start on Twitter. It didn't start with Gen Z. It didn't even start with white conservatives crying about drag queens and school books. The word woke came from deep within Black American history. In 1930s, yes, nearly 100 years ago, the word woke meant something very serious. It meant stay awake, stay alert. Your life may depend on it. In 1938, a folk singer, Lead Belly, recorded a song about Scottsboro boys. 9 black teenagers falsely accused of raping 2 white women. He sang, "Stay woke," because back then, if you were black and unaware, you could be lynched, locked up, or worse, just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So let's be clear. Woke was a survival word. It was a warning passed down like sacred knowledge. It meant keep your eyes open. This system isn't built to protect you. Fast forward to 2010s. Black Lives Matters, police brutality, systemic injustice, and woke rose again. Not as a trend, but as a call. To care, to see, to challenge. To not to be one of those people sleepwalking through someone else's suffering. But then, something happened. The word got noticed. By the wrong people. By the ones who are terrified of change. By those who profit from injustice and distraction. By conservatives who needed a boogeyman. So they took the word and hijacked it. They turned it into a joke. They turned it into fear. They told parents to watch out for woke schools. They made woke sound like some radical mind. As if teaching empathy and history was dangerous. Let me say this plain and simple. They weren't afraid of woke, but they were afraid of people waking up. Because once you see injustice, once you see how the system is rigged, once you feel compassion for people who don't look like you or live like you start questioning everything. And if enough people do that, their whole empire of fear and control, it crumbles. Now, some folks say, oh, I don't like all that woke stuff. It's too much. Too much what? Too much awareness? Too much truth? Let me remind you of something. Every spiritual teacher you admire was woke. Jesus was woke. The Buddha was woke. Every rishi, prophet, mystic, truth teller, woke. They challenged power. They stood with the poor. They told the world uncomfortable truths, and they were hated for it. So don't let anyone fool you into thinking woke means weak or fake or extreme. It means awake to justice, to compassion, to truth. And yeah, sometimes that truth is uncomfortable, but that's how you grow. So if you're brown like me, or black or white or anything in between, don't be embarrassed to care. Don't let them steal your voice. Being woke doesn't make you dangerous. It makes you honest. And in a world built on sleep, the most rebellious thing you can do is wake up. There's more to uncover. Namaste.
The term wokeness carries vastly different meanings depending on who's using it and the context in which it's applied. So how would you say Black people define wokeness? I can say for many Black people, wokeness is a state of being aware. Not only aware, but informed. And with that information, being vigilant. And we're not just vigilant about anything in particular. It's mainly about systemic oppression. We focus on social injustices. And we don't only do this for ourselves, we usually focus on historical and ongoing struggles of other marginalized groups. But particularly if we're talking about the Black community and we're focused on the Black community, it's about cultural consciousness, right? It's about understanding and appreciating the context of racial inequality. And not only racial inequality, but its impact on present day. For Black men and women, it's about social responsibility. It's about advocating for justice and equality, not only for Black people, but for all communities that are oppressed. And because Black people are woke and aware, as they call it, we understand the mission at hand. This builds up resistance and empowerment. Black people collectively will use that knowledge to challenge systems of oppression, which in turn lifts up Black voices and hopefully foster a community of solidarity. Wokeness is part of being accountable for Black people. It's being aware of not only the external factors like white supremacy, but also understanding the own internal problems as well within our own communities. For example, colorism and economic disparities. I really believe that for Black people, wokeness is a survival mechanism. It is a roadmap to empowerment. It is deeply rooted in lived experiences of injustice, making it a necessary tool for navigating and challenging systemic racism. Now, let's talk about how white America tries to define wokeness or wokeism. Now, in contrast, certain segments of white America, particularly conservative voices, have weaponized wokeness as a pejorative term. They seem to have redefined it as some sort of overreach or excess. They've seemed to take the term wokeness from the Black community and framed it as this extreme political correctness or hypersensitivity, basically saying that it stifles free speech or creativity. It's really become this catch-all for all progressive policies. They've been able to use the term wokeness to dismiss or discredit diversity, equity, and inclusion as divisive or unnecessary. If that wasn't enough, they just use mockery or fear-mongering, painting wokeness as an ideology that forces people to feel guilty. If not guilty, then ashamed of their privilege, or as a form of virtue signaling as detached from reality. So basically, this redefinition trivializes the term, stripping it of its historical and cultural significance. This basically takes the term woke and turns it into a buzzword used to attack any group or person advocating for social change. And it effectively undermines any legitimate discussions about inequality. So at the end, I feel like there's a disconnect. The tension lies in the fact that while Black people view wokeness as a pathway to empowerment and justice, certain groups will co-opt the term to ridicule or dismiss these same efforts. It's a textbook example of cultural appropriation, taking a term with deep roots in the Black liberation movement and twisting it as a caricature to serve a reactionary agenda. In essence, for Black people, wokeness is about awareness and action. For white America, as defined by detractors, it's a convenient scapegoat to resisting change. The real challenge lies in reclaiming and protecting the term's integrity from those very people who seek to dilute it.
What does it mean when they say a kid is woke? Okay, so let's first talk about what woke actually means. It started in the African American community, and it basically means to wake people up to what's really going on with racial inequality, prejudices, and any type of discrimination. Now, there are a lot of Republicans that don't like the term woke. They think that woke culture is a virus in our culture used to devalue our history and our institutions. They don't want people who are woke to go back and change the history or add to the history. A lot of conservatives believe that woke people are being too overly politically correct and policing everyone's words way too much. Now, Democrats and liberals generally believe that wokeness is an understanding that there are systems in place that uphold inequality and injustice for people of different race, genders, or sexual orientation. But according to some polls, the majority of the United States believes that being woke means that you're informed, educated, and aware of social injustices. Now, there are some very far left that also hate the term woke, just like the very far right do. And that's because they think that when people say they're woke, they're just using lip service. They're saying that we understand systematic racism and social injustices, but they're not actually doing anything to stop it. Now, I always thought woke meant to wake up, like to open your eyes and see how the world really is acting and not how you believe it acts or want to believe it acts. I believe Jesus was very woke. He came and was like, yeah, we're doing away with the Old Testament. That's not happening anymore. We're accepting everybody, all genders, all races. Everybody's accepted. I believe Buddha was like that. I believe Martin Luther King Jr. was like that. Not only did they speak it, but they took action to help everybody see that everybody's equal. Now, I just went and asked my kids. I have 4 teenagers. And they think the term woke means to just be open to new ideas. Personally, I really like the term woke. Anytime that you can put yourself in a position to see another person's perspective, it's a good thing. And it's going to be better for the whole world when we do that. Legit question.
What does the word woke actually mean? Recently, there was some controversy in the UK when an alleged journalist, Jeremy Vine, claimed that the word woke was just a pejorative term for things that were left-wing. He didn't say it as eloquently as that, but that's basically what he was getting at. So, is he right? Is woke just a pejorative term for something that is left-wing? It's well known that the word woke originated in African American vernacular and means awake to or alert to social justice. Personally, I love this meaning of the word woke. Yeah, I think it's really important that we are aware of other people's lives and that we are alert to whether they are being treated fairly or not. And that's why it pains me to say that unfortunately Jeremy Vine was right. You see, the problem is that words don't come with an innate meaning. Often when people have this discussion, they act as if a word has arrived with a meaning contained inside it that then emanates outward into the world. That's not how words work. The meaning that a word has is acquired only from how that word is actually used. A great example of this is the word nonplussed, which originally meant so surprised and confused that one didn't know how to react. So another way to think of that could be that nonplussed meant bothered or perturbed. But because of that syllable non in nonplussed, people got confused and used it incorrectly to mean not bothered, not perturbed. And so many people used the word incorrectly for such a long time that it actually changed the meaning. Now, you cannot actually safely use the word nonplussed in civilized conversation because you never know which meaning people will interpret you as using. In fact, most people probably now are using the incorrect meaning of nonplussed, which just means that the word nonplussed has actually changed its meaning over time. Now, it may be the case that among African Americans or in certain parts of America, the word woke is still mainly associated with being aware of social justice. But here in the UK, in the culture that I live in, when I hear somebody use the word woke, I assume that they are using it in a derogatory way towards something that is left-wing. That's what the word means to me. I don't want it to mean that. I don't like that meaning of it. But that is what it means because that is how people are using the word. So here's the crux of the matter. If, like me, you want the word woke to mean alert to social justice, then you have to use it to mean that as often and as publicly as you can. Because if we don't reclaim the meaning of the word woke, then the sheer number of people using it as a derogatory term for things that are on the left will just outnumber the number of people using it in its original sense, and like nonplussed, its meaning will change.
Man, let me hop out the truck for a minute. Listen, it seems like I'm always addressing white folk because it seems like y'all do the stupidest shit ever. So listen, hear this shit out. Hear this real good, okay? Y'all simple motherfuckers are getting online talking about, oh, I'm white and I'm proud. We're going to stand up for ourselves. We're being bullied. We're sick and tired of everyone's shit. We're sick of this. Ain't nobody bullying y'all stupid motherfuckers. Nobody ever has. What you don't like, again, is the video I posted the other day, is when black folks stand up for themselves and knock you the fuck out. It's an issue. It's a problem. But that's okay. Hell, I'll be honest with you, even some of your own brothers and sisters don't like this dumb shit y'all doing. They know you're hypocritical. They know y'all some fucking clowns. We're being bullied and no one's gonna bully us. We're gonna stand together. We're gonna stand up for ourselves. Y'all know how stupid y'all goddamn sound. You know how simple y'all bitches sound, man. Like there is history of y'all being bullied. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. Y'all are the victim and the suspect at the same time. The two don't mix. The two don't mix. Now, number two. Don't nobody give a fuck if you create your own white town and city, bitches. Ain't nobody mad about that shit. We don't care about you or anything that you building. Don't nobody want to be around your bitch ass. Have you gotten that through your thick head yet? Go live in the woods and the mountains. We ain't going up in there. It's too much to do. It's way too much to do. Way too much. You get what I'm saying? So go do you. But you can't. You don't know how to do that, do you? You don't know how to create your own from scratch, do you? So what you do is, i.e. gentrification, you move into other folk neighborhood, have your little white constituents come in there and up the price on everything, buy everybody out, or use these little fucking bullshit laws, eminent domain, and all this other kind of shit to take other folks' fucking land and other folks' fucking property. And then, you know, that's what you do. So, you know, it is what it is at this point. It is what the fuck it is. I understand that A lot of you were breastfed by your dog. I understand. And you know, you didn't get all the nutrients you needed. You ain't get all them goddamn nutrients. The nutrients that made you think clear. You know what I'm saying? And damn near all your pineal glands is fucking calcified. So you can't see further than your fucking nose. But that's all right, though. That's all right. I got you. But again, leave us the fuck alone. Now, fuck y'all motherfuckers for a minute. I'm going to talk to my people. Black folk, listen to me. I have only one fucking page. One page, okay? All these other pages hitting you up in your inbox, asking for money, asking for, you know, do you do trading and all this other kind of shit. There's one page out there. I saw a page out there that got way more followers than my original page, than my page does. Way more followers, almost 100,000 followers. I only got like 60-something thousand. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. You go to my page, you're going to see me all up and down that motherfucker. Because that's my page. You understand? And whenever you see a screenshot of a video or a screenshot picture, because we know what a screenshot is, that ain't me. It ain't none of us. It's a lot of y'all bitches get on here trying to send me all this information in my inbox. All these women, I know some of y'all brothers get the same shit. Oh, how you doing, handsome? And can I ask you a question? Where you from? All that dumb shit. Look, stay out my inbox, bots. I'm so sick of y'all motherfuckers, man. Sick of you bitches, man. Sick of erasing y'all bitches every goddamn day. Hell, if it was a sister trying to holler, hell, I done erased her several times. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sick of all the inboxing and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Leave me the fuck alone. I's married. You understand? Holla at your boy.
On this episode of How It's Made, how evangelicals manufacture a boogeyman.
Wokeism can be defined as a critical and divisive way of looking at things in our culture.
Step 1. Watch Fox News for their newest made-up word and then attach an arbitrary definition to it.
Based on blame, stereotypes, and victimhood.
Step 2. Take your made-up word with its arbitrary definition, take more arbitrary words that have a negative association and attach it to that new made-up word.
It's hell-bent on taking away our freedom of speech and our freedom of religion.
Step 3 is by far the most important piece of the evangelical boogeyman making process. Take everything in steps 1 and 2 and attach it to a group of people that you intentionally do not define. Then tell your congregation that these people are coming for their civil liberties, freedom of speech, and religion unless they do something about it. Bonus points if you can fundraise off of it.
All I got from this video, and I am going to start from the woke part, and that is, each time I hear a lot of people misuse the woke, I am like, what is going on? Because to my great surprise, at some point I found out that majority of these people that talk about woke do not actually understand the meaning of woke. I remember a white woman, conservative, who actually she was interviewed I think 2 years ago, where she was just busy, like, you know, talking about woke, how black people are woke, how woke is what is destroying United States, and how, you know, at some point they say, you know, Florida is where woke goes to. There was nothing I didn't hear, you know. And so while she was having the interview, they asked her what's the meaning of. She has said so many things about woke. What's the meaning of woke? She said, like, you know, woke is not something that she can explain straight up here on live television. Why? Because it's very broad and cannot be. So they were like, okay, yeah, we understand it's very broad. Just give us a very short thing instead of. And she ended up not knowing the meaning of woke. And I am going to ask you people presently today, why would you be human being? Why would a human being not be woke in 2025? Because woke is for the living. It's not for dead. And when you are not woke, you are actually not living. And for those that will be saying it's woke is never America, like white people slang or anything. Woke is from African Americans, black people came about that word because the law has happened to them and they woke up and said, you know what? We will continue to be woke. We are never sleeping. I don't know, but yeah, that is the meaning. And that is how woke became a slur to them. And you and I know that actually woke is a slur to them. They use that as a slur. When they cannot say that word, they use woke. They use DEI too. A lot of them. They use Libra. They use Democrat. When they say Democrat is black, they use Libra, black. So there are so many words they call black people when they cannot say the word. Yeah. So we are also going to talk about how some of these people think that black people owe them anything. Black people do not owe you, not even 1 cent. And they will not owe you. Because if you see some of them, the way they try to, now they are screaming that they are being bullied. If you look at where the people that are being bullied, you find out that they are the ones that look for trouble, because you all already know how much they look for people's trouble and think they can get away with it, or think that nothing is ever going to happen. So now you see them screaming that they are being bullied. How? Since another, bro, you all knew what happened there. How they've been going around putting their hands on people. Sometimes they think they can get away with some certain things, and then their confidence fails them. And they start screaming bully. They start saying people that look like me are aggressive. You think you can F around with me and get away free. It doesn't happen that way. So majority at times when things like this happen, you have to learn. If you don't